Hello.
Hello to everyone. Do you hear me?
Yes, we can. Hello.
The meeting is recording, so we started. I hope everybody had the opportunity to install the program. The program is called Adobe Animate. You can run the main program from the screen, or you can create the shortcut on the desktop. For a second. When you have the program Adobe Animate, you can just click Open File Location. Tap on Copy link, and if you want, paste it on the desktop so you can have the opportunity to easily start the program. When open the program for the first time, you have the something learning what's new, advanced, assets panel, and so on. It's easy to see every time when start the program. When you press done, is stop it. If you want to learn more, always this panel is available. On menu help, animate help. Menu help, animate help. Open once again the tools, add to Adobe.com support, then have all tutorials you can see in the previous menu. When the start the program is start new file fast button, suggestion, and so on. In some versions, if you have a problem with the internet, maybe this menu is not shown. Is say the menu isn't available. It's not a problem. That's why, because the program cannot turn into server of Adobe. Then the idea is going to File and choose New. That's the same as clicking this button, New File. So main program started when you choose File, New File, File New, and loading to make a program. You see the presets here. You see the presets here. The presets is for building an application with standard fonts, not used anymore. Half HD application. That's its resolution down below. Full HD application and 4K application. We built our application in 4K resolution because That's the opportunity to see better on every screen. And when it's too large, we just scale it by 4 and export also in full HD. But we built our application in 4K resolution. That's this width and this height and standard resolution. Frame rate in European is 25 frames per second. That's how many frames used to build animation and everything in the program. We use 25 frames. Americans use 30 frames per second, but we use 25 frames. And the final is choose programming. The programming is ActionScript and canvas and other object is not available for everything. So we use ActionScript, Full HD, and at 4K, 25, ActionScript 3. That's the main. If you don't see this, you can just click on advanced and type it. That's double 3040. And if you don't see anything, you can use this in pixels. The pixels, that's unit, 25 frames, and create. That's the opportunity. You can use ActionScript 3. If you don't see this panel, if you don't see this panel, in the advanced menu, you can see ActionScript 3 panel. Use ActionScript 3 panel and type the same resolution to create your first project. It's everything. Do you see everything now? Hello? Do you see the screen?
Yes, Ed, don't worry. It's visible.
Okay. When create this resolution, you can type 25 frames, as I said, and click on create button. The create button make a specific platform. It's a white screen. That's a way to fill with everything. I see the white screen take off almost everything. Now control key, left control key and plus and minus sign. It's zoom in and zoom out the screen. We use very often that's keyboard shortcut, control plus, control minus to zoom in or zoom out the application. So we can build everything in the screen. And sometimes some panels must be outside the screen and put it inside the screen with animation. When you create this, the first thing is to save the file. Now file is created, but not save it. So we can go to file, click on save, of course, and choose place. I can place this on the desktop. My first animation. I call it my first animation. I can see this animated compressed document, XFL file or animate document FLA file. I recommend to use animate document FLA file because another format is too large, over 5 or 6 gigabytes per project. That's too big, and we have a problem when you add some components. It's not possible to save you if you have not enough space on the hard drive. So you can choose Adobe Animate for a file, click on Save. Now, up here, do you see my mouse cursor?
Yes.
Yes. It say my first animation for a file and my first scene on the animation. The first thing, scene one is the main scene when everything is started. When you type something, we started with the scene one, continue, and so on and so on. But that's not a good idea to use scene one. And we have the opportunity, if you don't like this name, to change it. Modify document is opportunity to change the document. When you try to make the document, we have the stage color in the default, advanced layers, 25 frames as we speak previously, width and height resolution, and so on. So if you accidentally missed the opportunity to create the default version of the documents, you with modify document, you can change anytime. In the insert command, you can add a scene. Now you have two scenes and switch between them. The idea of many scenes is to make an application with some menus. In one scene, we can make animation. For example, choose a default language menu, and that will be the scene one. In the scene two, we can make an animation with choose difficult of the question. In scene three, we can put the main program, and so on and so on. We can make any more, any scenes we like with this button, insert scene. With modify, you can check, we can change some of the object. We can talk about a minute. And the main panel you can win is window. I'm sorry, but I can see the menu, but it's window right below the menu of Zoom. Is window menu, window, and action panel. You can see the F9 button on the keyboard, function button up. Button F9, you can use it to allow action. Action is in the current frame in layer 1, number 1, waiting for add some information. That's for the future, but we use action very often, so it's good to remember is with F9 button you can open, and with X you will close anytime. In action, you can add little commands. For example, command stop would stop the animation at this point. We can add so much with this, adding for formatting of the script, but when we start, you can see now in scene 1, layer 1, in frame 1, we can have some information. The code stop. Now in action panel, scene 1, layer 1, frame. I expand a little bit. Frame 1, you can have a command where the delete the command, it's nothing, no script in all the document. The idea of the script, you can have opportunity to tell the program when start, when stop, and so on. When give an action, when I click the button, start the program, stop the program, start a video, stop a video, and so on. So that's the main idea of creating this. Once again, in the window button, you can have the opportunity. I think some of us, some already know, it's a standard procedure. It's a history panel. This history panel. You see history panel. When you open history panel, you can see what you've already done. You can see I create a new scene, change some of the scenes, add information. What history panel, it's like going up and down in the past. When you go back to the past, it's not a problem. I can show you. Now it's action script activated. Action panel is activated. When I back in some of this, I can always go to some of this. I can type stop right here and go. When you back, there is nothing. When you go up, then show. If you back in time in history panel and add new information, that's the new mine scene. When you add something new, like for example drawing rectangle, as you can see, the history will change. That's the idea. If you have the time machine and go back in time and change the past, we also can change the present. That's the main idea of the history. History is have the opportunity to go back when you accidentally delete some of the code, make a mistake and go back. But when we go back and add something new, then history will be erased. As you can see it now, change scene is only one, but now it's adding rectangle is new in the history. If you go back and for example adding some oval object, now rectangle is disappear and oval is new in the history. So the history you can see in any time in what point in the history of making the document you are. And that's so easy if you make a mistake. So don't worry about it and just go back and see what you make it wrong, correct it and continue. That's the main opportunity when you have the history activated. We always have the opportunity to change if accidentally you drop it something wrong. And I use very often because add some information and I have make some errors, and for example, I add stop, not stop, and so on, easy mistakes, and I have the opportunity to see and change it. So that's the main action panel and history panel. I can delete that. With the window scene command, you can have the opportunity to add many scenes you like with this plus sign, and this add the scene right before the selected. I selected the screen one, and now add new, it's below selected. So if you tap on the 2 and add plus sign, and that's the idea. If you have to reorder, just click, drag, and reorder the scene. So I can just click and reorder scene 1, 2, 4, 5. And this the opportunity to create the scene. When the scene is created, it's a good idea to tell something about the scene so you can easily use it in the future. So the first scene is language select. We can use any type you like, but that's...
Yok.
Oh,
Nema ništa.
do...
Ne znam, pa njih ne pusti. Oni mi se žal ne pusti.
Hello.
Seth, please check your waiting room because more of the kids could not join the room, please.
All right.
Please check the waiting room.
Yes. I just admit all.
Sorry, guys.
Hi. You can change from here, from Windows scene panel. You can change your scene names, and it's a good idea to be something then all of you can understand. But it's not good idea to use a space, because in the program you can use some of this to create buttons going from one scene to another, and so on and so on and so on. So I use this idea without a space, but new word with capital key. So now it's language select scene, and you can easily read the language select sign with scene 2, like and once again, it's so easy to understand what is this. And it is the main my game. Now scene 3 and 4, it's not needed, so I can delete it. I can press delete, create delete once again. With now you can use language select, difficult select, main game. The first scene in the order is the scene what will show and see if you type something. So I can add In left, it's a toolbox. If you don't see the toolbox in window, you can use window and tools. That's command, window tools, and you can see this toolbox. Toolbox is opportunity to create some of the things in the scene, like rectangle, circle, and so on. If you want to add some pictures, that's very easy. You can always use insert, or you can just drag some of the pictures to the screen. For example, I can use one picture, and take, drag and drop, and that's recreate the image inside the scene. You can see in language select, I can see in difficulty and mind game, there is empty. In language select, I already have one picture. I can make it larger. And the main idea is we can use a time panel. So timeline, in window, you can use timeline. Timeline, this is timeline, one frame, layer one, from this language select screen. You can add, as you can see, we have only one frame and nothing else. If you add another frame, you can just press F5 button. F5 button add frames. Shift and F5 button delete frames. So you can see how expand when add frames, and with Shift and F5 we also remove frames. So in this case, I can add from 1 to 25. From 1 to 25, this is 1 second, and in the 26th frame, I can press F7. F7 is empty. Now is first time is seeing this. In the 7th frame is empty, and that just 1 second once again. When you see, you have a little circles. A little circles, or when the circle is filled, that's mean the circle have the opportunity to create some information. Now, if you press it, you can see on the first, you have the command stop. You write, I write it before, so I delete everything, and now you have 1 second with this image and 1 second without image. That's the main idea of simple application. When you have control play to see it, control play. That's the idea. 1 second the image is on the screen, the next second the image is gone. The main idea, when we have the opportunity, we can add image, add buttons, add symbols, and so on. And we have the opportunity to create more and more stuff. We have the design of the buttons and expand when use some of this. When use another program, when we drive and scan the image, and so on. With the commands, control, yes, is have the test add to with the test, we can see the opportunity. Now the opportunity, you can see it. 1 second. 1 second image is on the screen. The next second image is off the screen. In the default version of the test button, the animation is looping, but we have the opportunity to just play animation once, and that's we can use our first command, and that's it, stop. As you can see it, I added stop in the 50 frame. That's mean in the 2 seconds. If you see above is 1 second in the 25 frames, 2 seconds on the 50th frames, 75 seconds and 75 frames and 3 seconds, and so on and so on. So when I press in the 50th frames command stop, when test a movie again, and that's it. The movie stop in the 50th and never repeat again. The idea is you can have the opportunity to add some animation, for example, adding video. When we watch the video, in the end of the video, we have the stop, and in the stop, we have the opportunity to ask something. So I can use the type and in the type, I can make this more big. For example, and now when they play the movie, as you can see, the movie stop when this show in the final scene. First you have some image, then we have a blank, then we have a question with text box. The idea of the scene is when you have the opportunity, we can use stop a sign, and we can use go to sign. With go to, we can move from one scene to another. In this idea, you can see a scene. In difficult is empty scene. And you cannot select. And you cannot some text. And once again, add stop sign. But now we can change in the last frame here. We cannot ask question, but we can ask the idea to use difficulty. We can use go to and play, and we can see go to and play. I can tell you to go to and play frame 1 and use difficulty select for the name here. and start. And as you can see, when the first scene is over, then move to the second scene and stop it in this scene. So the main idea, we have to use some of the programming. We learn step by step. I can just show now the main idea. You can see when you add some of this, you already have the main idea. The main idea, you can add some layers. And the idea, you can have always insert a layer and call this layer an action. So all action you can write be in the action panel, not in the main panel. So now I have the opportunity to add this action. I just click here, copy actions, and type in the action. And when do this, as you can see, language select action. So I can see in language select in the action layer on the 50th frame, I have this command. It's the same idea when I use difficult select. Once again, I can insert a layer, call it action, and just copy this code. Just copy this code, and once again, as you can, please.
Sorry, can you stop your microphone, Dragasha?
Sorry.
And now go to and play. We can use difficult select and action frame. Here you can play stop. That's the main idea. When you have the you have this scene one, frame one, and so on and so on. But when the project is too big, like ours, it's so difficult to understand what's happening in the next, and the next, and so on. When one small names you can add here, and in keyframe, once again, create twin, frame, select frame. When you can select the frame, you have a property panel. In the property panel, when you type here something, when you click somewhere, for example, I can click on action. I click on action, and this is frame 50th. But this is not frame 50th. This is the idea to move to the difficult select. So I can type this, move to the difficult. We have the opportunity to label the frame. So now this frame, you can see, is frame 50, but now it's only have a name. So we can call it by his name. So we can move to the action. In the action, we can add this is select difficulty. So we can type select difficulty, select difficulty, and return. And here we don't type the one, but in the quotes we cannot select And as you can see, is the same idea. Why you can add some names? Because when you add, for example, here in the 50th frames, we have the opportunity to add some new video. Or, for example, the Bulgarian video is shorter than a video from Serbian, the video from Spanish, and so on and so on. So we cannot add just in any frames start the program, and we can add when the video is over to start the program. So we can use this and make actions and add all of these actions with the proper name. So the main idea here is we have the opportunity to create, use action, and add the names of the layers here, add the names of the frames here, and add the names of the scene here in this. That's the main idea. If you don't have the idea of typing the names of the scene, of the layers, when you add some of the programs, is too hard to understand. We can only see and what is that, what that number, why is frame 50, why is not 51, and so on, and we get more and more confused. So the idea is to create the names, and for example, now the code is the frame 50. When I want to expand previous frame, I just expanded the previous frame, expanded previous frame in the action panel, and stop. And you can see now its action is frame 99, but it's not important. The important is not the frame has same name. When it's like the people, we call the people. It's not matter if people is 2 feet away, 5 feet away, and so on and so on. It's most important when ask this, the idea what can I do? What can I do with the program and go and start something? That's the main panel. That's the main idea. Of course, when you forget, like me, to save very often, you can see a star sign here, remembering you can not save the project. That's not a good idea. We must save often. When you have the save, the star sign is out. Now mean the project is saved. When you make changes, a little small change, for example, adding another frame, and now star sign show again and say it, there is changes made it, and wait to save the animation again. Save. So the main idea, file new, once again overall for today, because we don't have much time. File new idea, we use this and use 4K resolution, 25 frames, action script 3, platform, and create button. If you don't see this or is blank, in the advanced panel, we have action script 3 button, and must type this on your own. 25. And if you want, you can click on make default, so any future project added to with that name, with that size, forgive me, with that size. When the animation is created, you can drag and drop images, you can drag and drop videos, you can drag and drop audio files, and so on. We can learn how to import some of this, how to use to call it to the server, and so on. You can easily change from one to another scene with this panel right here. And when you have something, you have two opportunity to hide it, to hide the panel and to show it. The idea of hiding is best idea to hiding the action, because the action is only to write a comment. It's not need to show and have the opportunity to loading to slow all of the animation. So action panel always be hidden, and layer panel, if you hide it, you can see nothing. Some of idea you can sometimes hide the panel. For example, we have the buttons, but we have the opportunity to ask people to enter username and password. And when username and password is correct, then showing the buttons. So we can just add the buttons, hide it, wait with stop prompt for username and password, and if username and password are correct, then we show the buttons and program will be continued. So hide and seek is a good idea. Hide and show, not hide and seek, that's another game. It's a good idea to see some of the layers, and when hide the layer or show the layers, you can just add, I can show now I hide the layers. When you play it, you can see everything. When I hide the layer and save the project, once again, so hiding the layers do not disable the layers. Hiding the layers is the idea to create some space to write the new layer or seeing the new layer. The another idea is to lock the layer. When the layer is locked, you can no longer move anything from this layer. Now I cannot move the object. As you can see, I can only draw a line and select, but not move it. When I unlock the layer, now I can move object anything I like, in any place I like. Of course, I can turn back to the center of the screen. So in file, new is for creation. In control, test, as you can see, control test is the idea of test how you can make a movie, or the movie is working well or not. So control test for test movie, and file new for creating. So that's the main idea of the program. I can give you a hint. I can wait for some question in next days, so I can help you to understand the main idea of the controls. If you don't see anything of the panels, panels is hidden in the window. In the window menu, you can see so many panels. Now you can currently hidden in mine, for example, a color is hidden, so you can see, you can pick any color you like, and so on and so on. Panels, they can hidden and they can show you. So you can see, for example, a properties panel. Once again, in the window panel, you can see it's right here, properties. So if you don't see anything, any of the panels, you can show from the window menu. I think it's more for enough for the first thing. If you have some questions, I will be happy to answer. Do you want?
Thank you.
Okay. Or maybe we have the opportunity. I can send the instruction how to create the first panel with animations, and the students try and maybe start with the question next time when they have the opportunity to check the program, to explore it, to see how it works and so on.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Svilen, can you give me 1 minute?
Okay.
Okay. I want to welcome you at the beginning, but you don't want to let me join to the meeting, so I can do that now. I want to welcome all of you to our project, to this part of our project, and I hope that all of you will enjoy now in that. To learn something new, and Svilen do that very good, and I hope that all of you enjoy, especially students. And of course, feel free to ask everything, because the point of this is to learn something. So don't be shy to ask, and teachers and students also. And see you next week. Next week in the same time or not?
Yes, in the same time.
Okay.
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 Okay, that's from me.
Bye.
See you.
Bye bye.
Bye.